Welcome in, everybody. It is Friday, May 1st of 2026. It is not tour of Japan. I want to let Blackhawk set the table for this, but welcome to our new show, Not So Young Lions, episode 1 officially. Did nearly 20, 30 episodes of Tour of Japan, but now we're here with Not So Young Lions. Big show here today on the podcast to kick off this new version of the podcast. We're going to be previewing Wrestling Dontaku for New Japan Pro Wrestling this upcoming weekend. Night 1 on Sunday. Sunday night featuring Yota Tsuji and Andrade in the main event for Night 1. And then Night 2 following with Callum Newman in the main event defending against Shingo Takagi. We're also going to break down longtime New Japan Pro Wrestling star Evil, who at the beginning of the year left New Japan Pro Wrestling. Rumors were he was going to WWE. Officially, this past Tuesday night on NXT, made his WWE debut. We're going to break down our thoughts to the presentation for Blackhawk. For Evil in not Blackhawk's not going to WWE. But Evil's what Evil could do in WWE. Does his style, the look, the presentation from New Japan, does that fit the WWE mold? Ari Glorious P joining us, saying it's like he's his favorite Lions. Thank you, Glorious P, as always. Blackhawk. This is Blackhawk Walker. I'm Max Tinberg, as always, for this podcast. Blackhawk, how you doing? And are you excited for this new era of the pod?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm very excited for this new era. I think it was a necessary change, I guess. We really only talked about New Japan, so it was kind of I felt bad for people that were showing up for, Stardom and Marigold stuff. And I think we talked about Marigold once, and we did a whole Stardom show once.
Yes.
And we did Noah occasionally. And so it was mostly just New Japan stuff. And so cutting it down and just focusing on New Japan, I think will be better for us.
Yeah.
We're able to talk about more and go in more depth about different things with that singular focus. So I think this will be good. We're kicking off, May 1st. We're kicking off the month really well with our first episode. So hopefully everything goes well. Dontaku's good, and we can come back next week and talk about how much we enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was again when we started out. It's funny now, like Marigold, very much so not is like almost closing. Like is that like the brink of the end of that promotion? Sadly, so maybe Stardom would be the only women's promotion we would talk about. Again, if there's big Stardom news that relates to them being on a New Japan show, we'll obviously talk about it, give you guys context on things. But yeah, we only have an hour. We try to keep this to at least an hour. And New Japan usually dominates the majority of the topics anyway. They're the biggest company of the 4 by a lot, and they're doing quite well post Wrestle Kingdom. So, and we enjoyed doing our full Wrestle Kingdom post show, so you can check that out.
Yes.
Channel from earlier this year. But yeah, we just feel like it's just much easier. It'll make our shows, I think, flow a lot better, feel more connected, and very excited. Glorious P saying it's the Tag League 2027. We're at 2026 Tag League.
We haven't even had I guess he's got Yuto Ice and Oscar down as 26 winners.
They would do well against us. They would do pretty good.
They would do very well.
So again, this is a New Japan Pro Wrestling exclusive show. So if you guys follow New Japan like we do, this is going to be the show for you every single Friday. We'll usually get going around 6 o'clock Eastern time, p.m. Eastern time, go from 6 to 7. Every single Friday, I think both of us have just been, I think it's good. We took a break, we kind of regrouped, and now here we are back every Friday for you guys talking all things New Japan. So let's get into Wrestling Dontaku. Y'all got to go through the dojo first. Well, we are Not So Young Lions. So this is our beginning. You tell me, Glorious P, how many more months of the pod we need before we're out of the dojo and no more longer officially Young Lions?
No more black trunks. So how long can I wear till I can wear some pants? Like what do we?
You look like Aaron Wolf right now in the trunks. You look too old to be wearing the trunks, but when can we wear our own gear? Basically, 4 weeks in a row, y'all graduate. I think we're gonna get to 4 weeks in a row.
I think we can.
So, Glorious P, you better be here in a month from today, because for our official graduation to not being Lions anymore, young Lions. So I got to see Hawk and Aaron Wolf. Blackhawk, what do you think to that?
Full gi or just the trunks?
Exactly. Just we don't need to get demonetized off YouTube. As Glorious P is giving me off. Yeah, sure. But let's get into Wrestling Dontaku. It is 2 nights. The first night, there are kind of 3 key matches on those final 3. Again, most of these shows are majority tag matches, which are feuding. So some of the people who are in major matches in night 2 are just in like those big 8-10-man tag matches on night 1, including Will Ospreay from AEW will be on both shows this weekend. He'll be in a regular 6-man tag on night 1 with Hinari and Great-O-Khan against Goto, Yoshihashi, and Tatsuya Matsumoto, who of course is a young lion, just bringing that up. And then night 2, he'll be in the trios, the Never Openweight 6-man tag title match with Goto, Hachi, and Oleg. The reason why Oleg's not there because Oleg has a premier singles match on night 1. So we have Oscar on both nights. We have Andrade from AEW also being, basically the replacement for Gabe Kidd for that night 1 main event. It was supposed to be Suji and Gabe for the global title, but it looks like Gabe could be out for the majority of this year, sadly. So Andrade, who I saw their first match together back in February in New Jersey. So we're getting a very quick rematch to that. But let's just go night by night, I guess. Blackhawk, what's catching your eye? If you just want to talk about the premier matches, the 3 big ones on that show, which are Aaron Wolf and Don Fale, singles match. We have Oleg and Ren Narita for the Never Openweight title. Ren's first defense of the Never Openweight. Bold Oleg trying to have 3 championships if he wins that match. Already beat Ishii in February in that Jersey show for the New Japan Strong title. He already is the 6-man champs, which I think will change on Monday. But he's looking to, before that, have 3 New Japan titles. And then obviously we just said it'll be Suji and Andrade. So what's catching your eye on night 1 of Dontaku here?
First thing I noticed is Takeshita and Umino versus Takahashi and Chase Owens. Not that big of a fan of Chase Owens, but I am intrigued by their teaming, Takeshita and Umino teaming. I'm very interested to see that, as well as, it's going to sound a little crazy, but Aaron Wolf and Don Fale, the way they have booked Aaron Wolf versus Don Fale recently has led me to believe they don't have a lot of faith in Aaron Wolf. So this will be a kind of a big match where, if Aaron Wolf gets squashed again, I'm starting to have doubts on his future. But if he can, have a good match and beat Don Fale, I feel like the turnaround is coming for him.
Yes. It's interesting because, again, Takeshita just showed at the last big show. They're setting up, obviously, Takeshita the next night will be defending against Chase. So it's I think they're going to continue Takeshita and Umino probably following this. Their match ended in a draw. But, again, I think for that title, should end feuds because, again, the whole point is you have to beat him in 15 minutes or under.
Right.
Takeshita has the champion's advantage there. The tag matches, I think, are fine. They're, no major feud for Weiss and Oscar on both these shows. They're just kind of there. They just had a big tag title match at the last show. So they probably could have saved that for one of these 2 shows. But I think Don Fale and Oleg Wolf and Fale doesn't really excite me that much.
Yeah.
House of Torture just has really suffered since Evil left the company. Obviously, I think they're more prepped for junior heavyweight stuff, which we'll be getting in May when you have Show and you have Doki, for example, in that. But yeah, from like a heavyweight perspective, they're kind of stuck with Ren and Fale being the two guys who are wrestling a lot for them.
Yeah. Their heavyweight division is not great for House of Torture. Just about everybody in House of Torture is in the junior division, so they are probably not going to have very good showings in the heavyweight division until they start adding more members.
Yeah.
Which we probably shouldn't have more members in House of Torture, as they are already extremely large. So it might be one of those book themselves into a corner kind of situations, but I think there's definitely ways out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see how the future of House of Torture comes into play for a lot of guys, because what are they at, 10 members now?
A lot.
9? Yeah.
He's saying they tried recruiting him. I mean, they're recruiting a lot of people right now. They're a lot of people.
They're doing whatever they can.
I get it. I think it's, they're faction-wise, we've talked about this, I think like a month ago. Yeah, who's the leader now? That's a good question. I don't know if there's like a clear-cut leader. I think Ren probably is the best chance of being the guy for them.
Yeah.
I would say him at this point. I think Fale is like the veteran guy out of him and Chase. And Yoshinobu Kanemaru, kind of those veteran guys who've been there, done that. I would say like potential, Ren, Doki in that group. I think Ren's definitely the leader of the group. I agree. I think it's Ren. Do you think he's going to retain against Oleg? Because Oleg, I don't think is going to be wearing 3 championships going into Monday. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I would love Oleg to win. I like Oleg a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is hard for me to see him with 3 belts at this moment. I think down the future, 100% could see him holding 3 belts. But at the state of the company right now and kind of how he's been booked so far this year, I don't believe he'll get a win on this one.
No, I think we're probably going to get some. That's what's tough when 2 of your 3 matches are House of Torture premier matches. There's probably going to be tons of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Togo will be involved. There'll be a lot of shenanigans in these 2 matches. I mean, I think there's 3 House of Torture matches on the show. Mystico, by the way, is on the show. Yeah. He's in an 8-man tag teaming with Taichi, Yuya, and Desperado against TMDK, which I think will be really fun just to get Mystico on the show. I don't think Mystico's in. No, he's not. He's not in Super Junior. I think Titan's the one in Super Junior.
Yes. But Titan and who was the other one?
I forget the other one in it this year.
Yeah, CMLL guy. I can't remember who it was.
But just seeing him is going to be great on this show, because he's not on night 2, but he's on night 1, so just cool. The New Japan AW CMLL relationship is just going very strong. They announced Forbidden Door. I'm not sure if we talked about this on the. Yeah, we did. They officially did announce Forbidden Door.
Yes.
And they're heavily, and it's usually very just New Japan AEW, but they're really leaning into Stardom and CMLL. That show I think is in June. I want to say like mid to late June.
Yeah.
That show.
I think they ran into a problem last year with the G1 being around the same time. And so now they realize that they're going to have to rely on other companies as well as New Japan to do Forbidden Door, which I think is a great idea, because I love the idea of Forbidden Door. I think it's a fantastic event. But last year's was very underwhelming with little to no New Japan influence, because of they were just getting off the G1, and this one they'll be in the fire of G1 for Forbidden Door.
No, Forbidden Door this year they actually Templario's always in it as well. By the way, sorry, that's a good one as well. No, Forbidden Door this year is June 28th, and the G1 I don't think starts until July 11th this year.
You're right. So I've been thinking about this like back and forth, because I'm going to the G1. I keep getting the month wrong. I keep saying I'm going up there in June, and it's definitely not in June.
No, you're right. But it's like 2 weeks before the G1. They have all the top New Japan people at their disposal.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna want to use Massacre, Dorada, Mystico, all those type of people on this show.
Exactly.
Glorious Pete, I'm going to. I have no idea when it is. It's July 11th. Is the beginning of the G1 in Chicago. We're gonna have Blackhawks will be there covering this, so I can't wait to talk about him with watching it. Yeah, June 11th is the show in the Now Arena in Chicago. So Forbidden, this should be a better Forbidden Door, just getting the top New Japan talent. Let's talk quickly about Tsuji and Andrade. Fantastic match in February that I went to. I think a lot of people think Andrade is the wrestler of the year so far. I think he has been the complete package in ring this year. He's had a lot of top matches. I see the argument for him being considered wrestler of the year so far in 2026. Wrestling Tsuji again. Tsuji for me has been kind of weird post losing the title, the world title. I haven't felt the momentum like consistently there for him. He'll have a great chance at the G1 to get the momentum back and probably make a very deep run at the G1 this year. But do you think Tsuji's fourth defense here? It's the global title. Andrade is the replacement, but again, they have to move on from the Gabe Kidd plans because he won't be there probably for the majority of the year. So what are your thoughts on the state of the global title right now?
When it was Gabe Kidd, I could see Tsuji losing.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And so it is very interesting if that was the plan originally, do they pivot and put it on Andrade, who's also just having an incredible year.
Yep.
But does Andrade show up for New Japan shows more frequently with the belt, or I think that's their real question. And Andrade on AEW is going into a program with MJF.
Yeah.
And so it would be really cool to see that belt on the line between Andrade and MJF. I don't think they're going to go that route. But we are getting closer to Forbidden Door, like we talked about. If Andrade wins, I could see Andrade MJF at Forbidden Door for that belt.
Yeah. There is a good idea here to pull the trigger here because, again, they're doing Best Super Juniors throughout the entire month of May. So he's not going to have to be at any of these shows for May. Yeah. He can regroup. Dominion is June 14th. So he can technically win the title Sunday, have the title for a month, and then defend it again at Dominion. I think they have an excuse of him not being at the shows because none of these people really are working. I mean, some of them are going to be working, obviously, some tag matches on the Super Junior shows, but majority of the cards, Andrade doesn't have to be there at all. So I do think if they want to pull the trigger on Andrade, I told you when I was about to go to that show, I really thought Andrade was going to beat Tsuji because at that point, Tsuji was both the world and the global title. Now I think hindsight, they did the right thing, pulling the trigger on Callum first and having Callum win the world title. Glorious Beast saying Andrade killing us right now. We're seeing him as a world title. I think there's a great chance he'll be winning a major championship in any company he works for this year.
Right.
I think Andrade winning this gives Tsuji too many big losses, too close together, in my opinion, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, at this point, again, he won the world title at Wrestle Kingdom, and then here we are 5 months into the year, and he's already lost both his titles already. I don't really mind it at this point. I think there's a story to tell. There's a story to tell with him having both titles, how much of work he's been putting in and losing. He says Cousin and Empire seems to be getting dubs. They are getting a lot of wins, especially I think on these shows. They're going to be pushed even heavier.
And I think that also him losing and then having an incredible G1 run would be
Tsuji you're talking about?
Yeah, Tsuji. Yeah. Him losing the belt and then going into the G1 and just running the table.
Yeah.
And then getting that belt back from, if Callum and Ospreay are going at it and, Ospreay wins, now it's Tsuji and Ospreay, or a rematch of Callum. Who knows what's going to be going on at the top there, but I would love a Tsuji just, going through the G1, winning the G1, and then walking in and saying, that's my belt. I want it back.
I could see that. I could see them doing, because a lot of people, including myself, I think we both talked about this last year. Boy, it felt like Tsuji was the person to win the G1 last year.
Right. Right.
Obviously, blessing the sky, especially when he's losing to Evil in the semifinals. I think that really put people off. Really did kill a lot of the positive vibe for the company until Wrestle Kingdom. That really did kill a lot of people's interest in the company, having Evil win the way he did in the semi, and the crowd hated it.
Yeah.
It was Takeshita and Evil in the final. I think a lot of people were just not happy about.
Right.
I could see Tsuji winning the G1. I'm not sure that leads him to winning the world title. Because I think there's going to be other big things they want Callan to be doing outside of Tsuji. I'm fascinated what they do with Tsuji and Andrade, but I'm very excited for the match. Obviously, they had such a killer match in Trenton that I went to in February that main evented the show. And again, Andrade is if Andrade does win, I want to see him more incorporated with UE.
Yes.
Have that brought
100%.
up. Have that brought up on AEW and New Japan. Obviously, it seems like Ospreay's doing stuff with Death Riders on AEW TV, but I would be fascinated now. So I think Aaron Wolf needs to win over Fale. What's Fale beating him for? I think Ren's going to win. I just don't know. I think, I don't know. I'm fascinated what they do with Tsuji. I think Andrade will win, maybe. Maybe I do think that. I think he's going to. The whole thing is he's trying to brag in front of MJF a lot. He's like, really?
Yeah.
You know what it's like being a champion? It would be funny if Andrade then Fale grabs in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know. He getting premier singles match on these shows. I respect Fale. He's again. I like Fale for the role he's in. This match will not be that long.
No.
With Aaron.
It literally can't be more than like 5 minutes.
But again, I think the whole match is supposed to be proving, it'll really show off Aaron's strength, really when he's picking him up and throwing Fale around the ring. But let's get to night 2. We have Takeshita defending the TV title against Chase Owens as the opener. New Japan usually does not do singles matches like starting shows, especially like this for the title. So like with the fact that they're just having Takeshita defend this title. Hopefully there is not House of Torture BS causing him to lose the title to Chase Owens. Don't need that in 2026. Mysterio is on the show as well. Sorry, he's on both shows. He'll be teaming with Despy against Fujita and Eagles. That match will be a killer.
Oh, yeah. That'd be so good.
Really, really good. We have the 2 big matches, though, are the 6-man titles and the world title. So, obviously, I think Callum's going to beat Shingo. I think this is just another guy, a legend of the company who Callum's going to knock off his list. But I do really think they're going to pull the trigger and have UE win the 6-man titles here. Ospreay, very fascinated the way they're using him. He seems very committed to doing both companies. You were hinting at maybe this could be a year Ospreay wants. He has said this at the beginning of the year he wants to do a G1 in the near future. Maybe that's this year. Who knows? I'm not sure it's good for him to do both because I think he's going to be in the Owen Hart Cup as well. It's a lot of tournament wrestling for him. But what do you think? Do you think they're going to give the belts to UE here for the trios?
I am a huge fan of Hiroki Goto and Bishamon in general. Yeah. And so I don't want them to give them the titles. Okay. With everything I have, I want them to hold the titles.
Yeah.
But with the direction that United Empire is going, I do believe if they don't get them here, they'll get them very soon. So it's not like we're just delaying the inevitable at this point. Because the trios division could be incredibly deep if New Japan really booked it well.
Yeah.
But trios is almost kind of like a throwaway for bigger factions.
Yeah.
And so having United Empire win it will just mean more gold in United Empire, which is what they're trying to do. So I have a feeling I will be disappointed watching Bishamon lose.
I do think if Andrade wins, I think that's a good closing shot to this night of the show. And all of them are going to come out, and you're going to have Andrade with the title. You're going to have Ospreay, Great O'Connor, and Hanari with titles, and you're going to have Callan with the world title, and be like, UE is now running New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think that's the cycle they want to do.
Especially considering like the place they were in even this time last year.
The last 2 years.
The last 2 years have been bad, but even like last year, they only had like 3 people that could potentially wrestle, and then it was down to just like Great O'Connor and Callan. And so now that they're back in, full force, I think they're really going to push that to the moon as hard as they can.
What are your thoughts on Ospreay? Do you think he'll do G1 this year or no?
I think he really wants to. But I don't know if it's this year or not. I don't know if he's like, they've been playing about his neck a little bit. He's in with John Moxley right now. I don't know if he'll do G1 this year. I think he'll do it next year if he's, healthy next year. But I think this year he's got a lot going on all over the place. To add to G1 would just be way too much. Because I do think he'll get in the Owen. I think he'll do in the Owen. He'll get in the Continental this year too. Adding the G1 would just be a ton on his plate, especially coming back from the severity of that injury that he had. Might just need to take a little bit of time, step back from the G1 for this year. But I'm not going to complain if he's in it. I'm not going to complain at all.
I could definitely see them.
I would just be worried about him.
I could definitely see them, especially because they're going to the States, like wanting to really sell that place out. And like, here's Ospreay wrestling in the G1.
Yeah.
I do think it's tough because, again, around the time of the G1 is kind of the AEW's big month setting up All In. And you would think the Owen is good. So I don't think Ospreay's doing it this year. I think it'll be like a next year thing, like when he's not, because he's going to be probably the AEW World Champion by for All In August. So I would think in July he'll be in the Owen Hart Cup. I am fascinated the direction because, again, Forbidden Door is in June, and I don't think they're going to do Ospreay and Callum now at Forbidden Door. It feels like they need more than a month and a half to build this.
Yeah. I feel like this is a Wrestle Kingdom match.
I do as well, which would be awesome.
But that also means that Will Ospreay has to be in the G1 and win, or whoever wins the G1 has to challenge Callum ahead of time and lose. Which is rare because the last couple years they had Zach and Takeshita just win the title before the Tokyo in the last 2 years. Yeah. I'm fascinated. They clearly are doing this long-term booking with Yui and Will. First of all, I'm excited. Callum, it's another good match for him. I think him and Shingo are going to really kill it. Yes.
Shingo's a very reliable guy. You can always put him in a title match and believe that he has the credibility to be in that match.
Right.
But look, Callum, he's coming off of beating Tsuji. This will be his first defense as the world champion. You just want to see Callum start building up, knocking off big names, I think, at this point. Like, if Goto loses the trios, maybe give Goto a shot at the world title again. I think there's a lot of interesting people for him. I like that they're already moving past Tsuji, like move on from him, give other people a chance here in the world title field. But I'm fascinated in the United Empire. They're clearly being built as the number one group in the company. Andrade, if he wins the title, I hope is more infused. Like that's a guy who probably could do G1 this year. If he wants to. I think Andrade has a better chance of doing G1 than
100%.
Ospreay. Takeshi's probably going to do it again too. I would think. He does it every year, so I would assume he's going to come back and do it. This G1 lineup could be really fascinating this year.
This G1 could be one of the best ones of all time if everything works out the way that we hope with Takeshita, Andrade.
I mean, Mystico wants to do it too.
Yeah, Mystico. Like the New Japan is on a great run right now. They have a lot of guys who are hot, looking good and putting on great matches. And so I think this G1 could be huge, depending on how they fill out the blocks.
Yes, I agree. And then again, I think Best of Super Juniors will be good this year. It's not the most. I think we talked about this last show. It's not the most exciting lineup of people, but I still think there's a lot of people who are going to deliver in that spot. Again, we will preview, I guess, not next week, but the week after, because Super Juniors starts on the 14th. So the next day is the 15th. That's when our show is. So we'll do a full deep dive on Super Juniors in 2 weeks. Next, maybe next week we can do a recap of Dontaku and then give our full preview and predictions for Super Juniors. And every week we'll just break down some of our favorite matches, moments of the. That's why I think it's fun when you fully dive in because we can really break down moments, the specific matches, spots, than just the general New Japan stuff. But again, some tag matches are going to be, again, Yuta Ice and Oscar on both shows. Takeshita better win, right? He's not going to lose to Chase Owens, right?
Yeah, if he loses to Chase Owens, my hope in this company starts to dwindle.
Yeah.
Not that I think Takeshita should hold the TV title forever.
No.
I just don't think Chase Owens should be the guy to beat him. I think Umino would have been a great choice if they were going to take the belt off.
Yeah.
Giving it to Chase Owens just feels like a disservice to even ELP, who lost to Takeshita.
Yes. I don't want to see Takeshita lose his title to Chase Owens. I think there's better people. Takeshita has done a really good job since being in the company. When he's won titles, he won the Never Openweight title, but he put over Bolin Oleg to win.
Right.
And then look, he put over Tsuji at the Tokyo Dome. When he wins titles, he usually does put over big time stars for the company. Again, Takeshita will be fighting Okada in May. This month, we'll be covering that show at Double or Nothing later this month. Him winning or this title losing, it doesn't really affect what happens for AEW. He goes back and forth all the time.
Right.
So I think Takeshita is going to retain. I think the new champions we're going to see on these shows is we're going to have a new Never Openweight champions, 6-man champs. We're going to have new global heavyweight titles. I think Andrade will be the new Never Openweight title. When we talk to you guys next week, I do think Great Khan, Hanare, and Ospreay. They haven't really teased United Empire breaking up Ospreay anytime soon. There needs to be a breaking point for UE, and they haven't even started cracking down on Ospreay being turned on yet. So until we see Ospreay being turned on, we're not going to see Callum and Ospreay for a while. Glorious Pete saying needed this recap. Didn't know it was 2 nights. I totally get it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was 2 nights until Max DM'd me earlier. Was like, we'll cover night 1 and 2. I was like, night 2.
Night 2.
I had to go look at it.
It's very weird from a U.S. perspective because they're doing it on a Sunday and a Monday, which is they usually do Saturday and Sunday. But hey, I think they put together 2 really good shows together.
Yeah.
I think the tag matches on these shows will be very strong. And I think, again, the main events are really going to be good. Tsuji and Andrade and Shingo and Callum, I think, are going to really deliver, guys. So I'm pretty excited for these 2 shows here. Let's now move on to our final topic, and that is the man we were just talking about earlier, Evil. We covered Wrestle Kingdom. Again, Evil's a person who we just hate the group more than the performer. We really did. I think people, because of him being the leader of House of Torture, forgot he was, and still is, a really good in-ring wrestler when he doesn't have the shenanigans. He was picked for a reason to wrestle Wolf at Tokyo Dome this year, and he did a really good job in that. That match was a lot better than people were expecting. Now he leaves the company, goes to WWE. We expected it to go to NXT. We have not seen Hiromu yet, but I do think they're going to probably do him and Hiromu faction with the whole Japanese. They love doing that in WWE. Where the Japanese, let's put these people together. Even though Hiromu and Evil have been rivals for 15 years at this point. But so Evil, last week on NXT, Tony D handed this Japanese box and a Japanese letter. Everyone was like, who is it? This past week on Tuesday, we found out that it was Evil. And they're putting him right in the NXT world title picture. Now, again, I don't know if you guys watch NXT who watch our show, but they're basically regrouping because a lot of guys were called up to the main roster. It feels like a totally different NXT now. They had a lot of Evolve guys make their NXT debut, and they had a lot of independent guys or non-WWE people also make their debuts for them. So Evil was one of those people. He got a grand entrance. He has the cloak. He has the purple Titantron. Seems very similar. How do you think Evil will work on NXT?
I think he'll work fine. I definitely think this is a guy that needs to work through NXT pretty quickly and move up to the top. It is kind of odd timing though, with WWE just dropped pretty much all of their creepy, scary guys. So now Evil is pretty much the only one, I think, that is in that evil, scary category. So I'm very curious to see how his future looks with the company. because I did hear reports that WWE dropped all those people because they weren't like registering with families. And so I don't know. I thought they did fine. But I am curious to see how Evil is moving forward, just because they're like trying to move away from the spooky scary, it seems. Then they just bring in a guy who is known to be spooky scary, and debut him right after all the releases. But I think he'll do great in NXT. I think he has the ability to adapt his style to whatever they need him to be.
Yeah.
I hope that he keeps the style that he has. I like this style. But as we know, Japanese talents go over to WWE and they basically make them wear pillows for hands. So it's we don't know what'll happen. He hasn't had a match yet. He could just go out there full strong style and be that guy. But the likelihood of that does feel a little low. And then Hiromu, I don't know anything about Hiromu. I haven't heard a peep out of him.
He hasn't shown up anywhere yet.
Yeah, he hasn't shown up anywhere. For a long time, I thought he'd just go into Noah, rejoin LTJ,
I think he's
and just be a part of that. But yeah, I think he might be in NXT. Well, one of my big things is NXT has Ulka Sasakai from Noah.
Yeah.
They've had him for almost 2 months now and have yet to use him in any capacity. And so when Tony D'Angelo got that box or whatever, I hoped it was Ulka.
A lot of people did too. Yeah, I saw that.
And so I was a little disappointed it was Evil. I'm not going to lie. I am happy that Evil's there, but I was like, I want to see Ulka on my TV. I've been missing watching his matches. And now I'm like 2 months in and they've done zero with him. So it's a little frustrating, but another Japanese talent that WWE isn't really using very well.
I totally get that. I think what Evil's advantage is especially as a heel, I don't think he needs to speak a lick of English. I really don't. I think a lot of what he can do, especially as an American who watches New Japan, he does a lot of stuff on the mic, and I think he's more threatening when you don't know what the hell he's talking about. I think sometimes WWE tries to force their international people just to speak English, but I think you're seeing a lot more freedom. Like you saw on Monday, for example, Asuka did this whole video package, and the first half of the promo was in full Japanese. You had the subtitles, you had the really cool subtitles, and then you got her in English. I think there's a balance. I think you can do both. I can think Asuka did a lot of her heel promos just in Japanese. People just don't. It's about your charisma, the looks, the mannerisms more than it is truthfully the language.
Yep. Because the language can be translated. If you don't have charisma while delivering it, it's never going to get across.
Yeah, look, Stephanie, I cut that great promo on Liv totally in Spanish. And everyone was like, what did she say? And then people were posting what she said. And people were like, whoa, that was a really good. Didn't take away from the promo.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Evil, you want to book him mysteriously. I do think they're going to do in a year from now, I can see them doing Evil, Hiromu, Nakamura faction on the main roster. Again,
yeah,
Evil,
I wouldn't be shocked.
Evil is 39 years old. I think what NXT also needed was a lot of their top guys who got called up were they always on the CW, especially they want international talent. They want people to all right, this guy's on our show. We need eyeballs. But also they just need veteran in-ring talent. They can't just rely on guys who are green, in ring, especially in the main event scene. You're losing Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, who had so much experience outside of WWE before. Yeah. Ricky Saints was in NWA for a very long time. Obviously, his AEW stint, and Ethan Page was in TNA for a very long time. Then AEW, they had TV experience, and that's very important for NXT to have guys at the top of the card who sure might not be top guys for the company moving forward, but give experience to their up and coming talent. I think that helped Javon Evans a lot. That helped a lot of people a lot. They're younger talent that are experienced people, can work matches, and be the ring general in the ring. I think Evil's a good person for that.
Yeah, and Will Cruz as well, that they added on at the end of the segment, will also be a great young talent who's also had a lot of that experience. I think the NXT men's division might be looking brighter after.
I'm still not excited for it. I'm still not, I'm not the
it's still not great, but it does look a little better.
I think women's wise, they're going to be just fine. They have a lot of top talent.
They're able to pump out incredibly talented women like crazy out of there. I don't understand how they're doing it, but they can't really get a man to be exciting to me for anything, but they've got some women that'll put on some great matches.
I think eventually Jackson Drake will be a main guy for them. He'll be like a top guy for them. But with this Tony D era, you need some tough heels. Evil, it would be very interesting. I'm very fascinated because that was just, he came out, he didn't talk. He just handed I think he handed like a apron, something to Tony where it was also Japanese. And then he just left. The crowd didn't know who he was. They were chanting Evil when he came out. They did not say what his name was, though, on the broadcast or on social media. They did say that he had like an evil entrance, but they didn't say that this guy was named Evil. So I'm fascinated if they're changing his name at all. I
have a feeling it's that the one that got posted this week. What was it? Something Nox Raijin.
What is that? What the name is?
Yeah.
Because does New Japan, do they own that?
They might own Evil.
That's why I don't think people realize. That's why Bang Bang Gang stopped being called Bullet Club Goals, because New Japan owns the rights to Bullet Club, and they got a lot of the percentage of those shirts sold were because they was named Bullet Club, and just call them Bang Bang Gang. Maybe they do own the name Evil. I do think I feel like they're gonna if Hiromu does show up, but it's weird. Hiromu and him are completely polar opposite people. Hiromu is such a baby face. I wouldn't like put them together at front. Hiromu's a really likable.
Hiromu worked heel for Noah.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. I liked him as a heel.
Would be a good pairing.
I don't know. One could be extremely charismatic and one could be
serious.
Serious and kind of scary. I feel like that dynamic always works.
Yeah.
And so, a silly and mean will always get me every time. So I would be excited for that.
It's fascinating. New Japan has not had the same, let's just say, appeal over the States recently. So I don't really know, I really don't know how popular Evil is to people who maybe I didn't really watch many streamers' reactions to the show. I don't know if people didn't know who he was, knew who he was. I watched the show myself. I had to watch it late on Tuesday night, so I didn't have time to watch people's reactions or see if people understood him or knew who he was. I'm fascinated what they do moving forward. Is he not going to talk? Is he going to talk? If he's in a faction, if he's by himself? But clearly they have a lot of confidence in him because they're putting him in the world title picture instantly in NXT. So, obviously we know his relationship with Io Sky. So obviously he's been around the company for so many years. So I'm fascinated. Evil's a person who I think we agreed just his time just ran out of time in New Japan. We were kind of just over the faction, over him, the way he wins matches. But again, him and Aaron Wolf had shenanigans, but a lot of it was just the good in-ring work. So I do think a lot of people are stereotyping him as a bad wrestler too. I think he is a very solid, and he can, and you saw with getting Aaron Wolf in his first in-ring match, got a really good match out of Aaron Wolf. So I do believe Evil can get a lot of good matches out of a lot of green wrestlers on NXT. I think that's the point of the signing of him and Hiromu. If Hiromu is signed, that's the point of him and Hiromu. They can get good matches and help younger talent. I think.
Yeah, and Evil also worked at the dojo a lot, and so he helped train a lot of the young lions. And these guys in NXT desperately need some fresh training. I think the same coaches are teaching the women, but I don't know what's going on. Why it's not translating as well for the men. And so they might just need a fresh coach for the men, some fresh set of eyes, some new ideas. And maybe they could revive the entire division.
A lot of the Evolve guys that they're calling up are kind of built the same way, like Jackson Drake and Sean Legacy and Tate Wilder. They're kind of built, and they're built not in the prototypical bodybuilder, 260-pound ripped guys. They're kind of 205-pound, 120-pound guys. All three of them excellent wrestlers. Love all of them. So I'm excited that they're all called up officially to NXT. But yeah, like the women, like Callie Armstrong just got called up, and she's already like she's someone who I think will be a very top. Her and Kendall Gray are going to be top people.
Yes, they're going to be fantastic.
So, yeah. So I think women's wise, yeah, you're right. They have tons of people, but yeah, because they haven't really used their no relationship at all, other than Uemura, and he hasn't been on the show in God knows how long.
Yeah, he's the GHC champion now, so he's not coming back. He's not coming back to the Fed anytime soon with that. And Marigold's almost dead.
It's really actually sad. Everyone's like,
yeah.
It feels like they're a dead man walking company at this point.
Yeah, because Utami's leaving at the beginning of the year. Rosie just is losing credibility with a lot of people. It just seems like every day somebody new just doesn't, comes out and is like, yeah, I don't really like Rosie. But yeah, Marigold, he put out a statement earlier this week that they had something in their back corner, in the back pocket, some kind of secret.
Yeah.
And they've got some rookies coming down the pipeline, which I will say Marigold has pumped out some incredible rookies.
Yeah.
They have had some crazy good talent come through there. But yeah, I think Rosie overshadowing Marigold has been really bad. I think his booking hasn't been great. I think they've got really good talent, really bad booking.
They're just not booked as strongly as the Stardom.
No.
Seriously.
Yeah, because nobody's really taking Marigold seriously anymore. At the beginning, they definitely were. Now, just kind of like,
and you're gonna.
It's not even like a joke company. Like DDT is like very like jokey, funny, but like also still serious.
Yeah.
Like Marigold's not even jokey, funny. It's just like they just kind of exist, and they're just holding talent right now under contract so they can get paid before they go to Stardom or Marvelous or Sendai and all these new Joshi promotions.
The last decade, they get snatched up more than anyone. Joshi women's wrestlers get snatched by American companies so much quicker these days. Like,
there's a handful I have my eyes on that I can't wait for them to be snatched by a bigger company and be able to really, really shine like they should be.
And I'm pumped for Forbidden Door for that way because I think Azume should be on the show. I think Terry Kondo should be on the show. I think there's a lot of potential big matches for Stardom at Forbidden Door. I know we didn't go an hour, but this was a perfect time for us to pretty much wrap things up for our first episode. Just to say before we start saying, I know it's not related to New Japan, but I saw the post when I actually got back today from going to the movies, but I saw the post from Rebel, who used to be in AEW, or technically still is in AEW, but she's had some health problems, obviously, the last couple of years, and then she finally announced today that she has ALS. So I just want to send all of our prayers and love to her. It's been very emotional because she was the top manager in AEW like 3-4 years ago, managing her. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter were like the top women in AEW for a very long stretch of time. She was very entertaining, was really funny. And obviously she had to take a step back, figure out what was going on with her. And 2 years later, now finding out sadly that she has ALS, I just want to say thoughts and prayers to her. I know our Bioslam group chat was going crazy with that, talking about that today, but I know she's not in New Japan, but I think it's just really not, I just want to say that because I think everyone in the wrestling world feels obviously terrible that this is happening.
Yes.
You wouldn't wish ALS on anyone. So just a horrible thing. And because you just know there's nothing you can do at that point. So just want to say love and prayers to Rebel. Hopefully you guys all can go to her post and like it and put your comments and send your love to her. She really does deserve it. So just want to say that. But Blackhawk, let's wrap things up in a positive manner and talk about what we got coming up, what you do for Bioslam, social media. Let's go through here.
Social media, you can follow me at Blackhawk Walker on all platforms. Instagram is the Blackhawk Walker. For Body Slam, I do the live show clips. Like these will be out probably sometime tomorrow.
Woo.
And then personally, I have my own YouTube channel as well as my own Pro Wrestling Noah show. So if that was what you were coming here for, you can go to my channel. I have been pretty absent with that, but with the big event we've got this weekend, I believe I will be getting back on it and getting posting more consistently. So with that, I also have a Patreon that I am starting. I have yet to fully announce this. So this is a this is a Body Slam exclusive at the moment. But we're doing a couple of different things over there. All my content will also be posted over there as well as some, some ratings, some reviews, just a couple of different things. I thought it'd be fun to have and do. I set it up today. I should have a full public announcement tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that if you are still here and watching.
Love that. Please follow me at Twitter. Max Dinnerberg. Sorry, guys, about the glare. Of course, it just came in with 5 minutes left on the show. I'm like two-faced right now. Half shade, I'm half sunlight.
Yeah.
It's always a weird time of the day. Some days the sun hits my building like this, and some days it doesn't at all. So sorry, guys. I'll fix that for next week. But follow me on social media, Max Dinnerberg on Instagram, Dinnerberg Max on Twitter. Please follow Body Slam on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all those social media platforms, because every single day I post a video for you guys on TikTok, doing my highs and lows. If it's Raw, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, tonight I'll be doing my breakdown of SmackDown tonight. We've been getting some good views on those videos, so please follow us on our social media. Also, Blackhawk and I do some post-show hosting for every AEW PLE. I do host all the main PLEs or pay-per-views for every major company here on Body Slam. So next weekend, we got Backlash. We got Ring of Honor pay-per-view Supercard of Honor in mid-May. I'll be hosting as well. And then Blackhawk and I will be wrapping up the end of May doing our AEW Double or Nothing review. Already has moved 12,000 tickets. That is going to be a very big show for them.
Great show.
Unbelievable. They've already moved 12,000 tickets with a month to go. So very exciting for AEW. But Blackhawk and I will be back at the end of the month. And also, we're going to be here for sure every single Friday for you guys, breaking down New Japan Pro Wrestling. Next week on the show, we'll be giving our full review for both nights of Wrestling Dontaku, our favorite matches, moments, moves, whatever you want to talk about. We're going to break it down. If we have time as well, we'll give our full preview for Best of the Super Juniors, which will start the week after our show next week. So it will be a jam-packed show next week. Glorious Peace saying W for a show. Just want to thank
you.
A lot more people are here than I expected. So thanks for everyone who joined us for these full 1 hour. And we'll see you guys in the very near future. See you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.